Welcome to PeaceTV. Today, Ukrainian authorities insist that the country is not involved in the drone attack on the Kremlin in Moscow. Reuters reported that a senior official at the office of the President of Ukraine has denied any accusations by Russia about Kiev's involvement in the attack of the suicide drones UAVs on the Kremlin. The official stressed that the incident will not change anything outside of the battlefield. However, it is likely to prompt Russia to conduct stronger retaliatory actions in the near future. The head of Ukraine's presidential office, Mikhailo Podolyak, later confirmed that Kiev was not behind the attack. Suicide drones can be bought at any military hardware store. This shows that the Russian Federation is having some problems. But that problem has nothing to do with Ukrainian UAVs. Mr. Podolyak wrote on his personal Twitter page. In a statement published on May 3rd, the office of the President of Russia said that the country's air defense forces had stopped a terrorist attack on the Kremlin. Accordingly, Russian authorities accused Ukraine of launching two suicide drones UAVs at the residence of President Vladimir Putin with the goal of assassinating the Russian president. We consider this to be a pre-planned terrorist attack against the President of Russia. This happened before the Victory Day parade on May 9th. This was an event attended by the Russian president. Of many international guests, the Russian president's office said, adding that Moscow would take appropriate retaliatory actions. Both of these UAVs were later neutralized by the Kremlin's air defense forces with electronic warfare devices. Moscow revealed that these two UAVs crashed in the Kremlin courtyard. No one was injured after this incident. Speaking to the press after the incident, Russian government spokesman Dmitry Peskov confirmed that President Vladimir Putin was not in the Kremlin at the time of the attack. Putin is currently safe and staying at the presidential residence in Novogoryovo, west of Moscow. Recently, many UAVs believed to be of the Ukrainian army have been shot down in areas around Moscow. This led the Russian authorities to express concern about the Ukrainian raids on important Russian government targets in the capital. To prevent Ukrainian raids, at the end of January, the Russian military installed modern defense complexes, Pantsir S-1 on the roofs of high-rise buildings in Moscow, including the headquarters of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Russian Room. Besides Pantsir S-1, S-400 battlegrounds have also been recorded in several areas of Moscow, including inside the campus of the Timiryazovo Agricultural Academy and the Roblevo-Uspensky Highway intersection. The Russian military conducted a fierce attack with cruise missiles and suicide drones against many areas in Ukraine last night. On the night of May 2nd and early morning of May 3rd, the Russian military carried out a large-scale ambush with cruise missiles and suicide unmanned aerial vehicles UAVs targeting the Kiev capital area along with many other territories of Ukraine. This is the third ambush in just 6 days that the Russian military has carried out in Ukraine, according to the military administration of the Kiev capital region. All Russian UAVs involved in the attack on this city were shot down. However, heavy damage to facilities was still recorded in many other areas of Ukraine, according to Ukrainian state media channel Saspil. Ukrainian air defense forces shot down 21 Russian suicide drones in the southern and eastern regions of the country. However, in the Kropivnitsky area, the Russian UAV hit a fuel depot for military and civilian purposes of Ukraine. In Dnipro, a local government building was badly damaged. In the Mykolaiv region, many houses in the Kutsurubsk region were completely destroyed. These attacks leave no human consequences. Saspiln also reported that many houses, facilities, and a 5-story building were destroyed in the Kostyantinovka settlement in Donetsk after the Russian raid last night. On the same day, the head of the military administration of the Zaporizhzhia region in southern Ukraine, Yuri Maloshko, accused Russia of conducting missile strikes on this frontline area. People's houses continue to be targeted by Russian missiles. After the attack, one house was destroyed. 2 others were badly damaged. Windows and roofs of 40 other houses were destroyed. It was also damaged, fortunately. This attack did not leave any human consequences, Mr. Maloshko wrote. According to Maloshko, in the past 24 hours alone, the Russian military has carried out 82 attacks, including 2 missile strikes, 3 airstrikes, for suicide drone raids and 69 shelling attacks aimed at the target, into Zaporizhia. Zaporizhia is one of 4 Ukrainian provinces, announced by Russia in October last year. However, the Russian military has not yet controlled the entire territory of this province, especially in the capital city of Zaporizhia and the area around the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Recently, the Ukrainian military has sent a force of soldiers and military equipment to this area to be ready for counterattacks to regain the territory. The Russian army is therefore urgently reinforcing its defenses in this area. The Russian military dropped a FAB-500 concrete-piercing bomb on a Ukrainian base in the Kherson region. Avia Pro page on May 3rd posted a video in which a Russian fighter jet dropped a FAB-500 concrete-piercing bomb on a Ukrainian military base in Kherson. Accordingly, a violent explosion was recorded after the Russian FAB-500 bomb hit the target. According to Avia Pro, the base is an ammunition depot and a large concentration of Ukrainian troops at Kherson. The entire base was flattened after the explosion. Some military experts estimate that the Ukrainian army may have lost between 100 to 150 tons of ammunition and weapons after the Russian raids in Kherson. Recently, the Russian military has continuously used concrete-piercing bombs FAB-500 to ambush Ukrainian military positions. According to observers, the use of FAB-500 bombs is to maintain the intensity and power of attacks from the Russian military, in the context that the country's high-precision cruise missile arsenal has been exhausted. However, some experts believe that the use of precision attack bombs, such as the FAB-500, has been carefully calculated by the Russian military for the purpose of penetrating Ukrainian fortifications. On April 26th, Russian warplanes dropped 2 FAB-500 bombs at the landing position of the Ukrainian army in the defense area on the left bank of the Dnipro River in Kherson. After this attack, the entire Ukrainian landing group and combat equipment were destroyed. Kiev's river crossing was flattened, thereby eliminating the risk of similar landings in the future. About FAB-500 designed as a fragmentation bomb, this weapon is often used to attack and destroy military infrastructure, railway transit points, light armored equipment and enemy energy, with the ability to integrate on many different types of aircraft, such as Su-27, Su-30, Su-34, Su-24 or MiG-29. The FAB-500 bomb can fly about 15 kilometers after being dropped from a high altitude, from 570 to 12,000 meters. The FAB-500 bomb's ground speed is up to 1,900 kilometers per hour, allowing it to increase its penetrating power from kinetic energy when it collides with a target. Kherson is one of 4 provinces in eastern and southern Ukraine annexed to Russia in October 2022. However, by early November, the Russian army had to withdraw from the city of Kherson in this southern Ukrainian province to preserve its forces against the onslaught of attacks from Kiev. After the decision to withdraw, the Russian army urgently built a defense line on the left bank of the Dnipro River, with the participation of many elite paratroopers and National Guard units. This line will be Russia's first stop to prevent President Volodymyr Zelensky's army from advancing further into the Crimean Peninsula in southern Ukraine.